Like this.
Hey everybody, this is Marni from rebornclothing.com, and today I want to talk to you about mattress pads. Never one that gets anything besides urine or water on it. So something that's going to either stink like poop or something that's going to rot like breast milk or formula. You definitely are going to want to wash your pads so that stuff isn't hanging out on there stinking. Urine should be able to be neutralized. The odor will be neutralized by the lanolin in the pad if you're caring for it correctly. So either soiling it, or if it's retaining a urine odor after you let it air out. So that means after you've let it dry, if it gets pee on it and you let it dry, and after being dry you still can smell urine, it needs to be washed and lanolized again. And the last one is just after a period of time has gone by and you feel like it's not doing its job as well, it's not absorbing liquids, it's time to wash it and lanolize it again and kind of retreat it.
Like this.
Now you're ready to care for your pad. So the first thing you need to do is get your supplies together. For the initial washing, you're just going to need your bathtub, or if you have a huge basin and you prefer not to use your bathtub, you can do that as well. You need to have warm water, so tepid. It's going to be the temperature of your skin or a little bit cooler. So you're going to add your wool into the water and add your wool wash soap. And just follow the instructions with your soap for how to use it. You're going to incorporate the soap into the wool by squeezing big handfuls and gently agitating it to make bubbles but not overdo it. Now all you need is hot water, a bowl, lanolin, and wool wash. So I heated up my water in the microwave. You can choose to heat your water up on a kettle on the stove, and then you won't have to use plastic or use a microwave. It's hot water. It's not boiling hot though. I did mine for about 2 minutes, so it only needs to be, I think, around 110 for the lanolin to dissolve. So once it's warmed up, I'm going to get a plastic spoon and I'm going to start dissolving my lanolin into the soap. So because I'm lanolizing 2 different pads and it's quite a bit of wool, I'm going to use quite a bit of lanolin. I'm going to start squeezing in the lanolin. I'm doing a lot, as you can see. This is way more than you would do for a pair of woolies. I'm actually going to even add more. And then I'm going to add the soap, and the soap is what is going to help the lanolin get mixed into the water to be the carrier and help the lanolin be able to be spread over a larger square area. So I'm adding the soap, and I want to add an equal amount of soap to lanolin. And it's not a science. It's hard to tell how much I've added, so I'm just going to start stirring. Some lanolin mixtures will turn a creamy color. That's a good thing. You kind of want that to happen. This lanolin did not do that. I don't usually use Lancino brand lanolin. So I'm going to add more soap, continue stirring. I don't want those globs on the surface. I want to try to get them to dissolve. That's kind of your main goal, is to get those lanolin globs to dissolve. There can be a little bit of small globs on the top of the surface, that's fine, but you really want to get it mixed up to the point where it's kind of all mixed together. So keep doing this until you kind of have a balance, and then you're just going to let it cool off. And while it's cooling off, your woolies are still soaking up in the tub, and you want to keep kids away from that, obviously. So keep the door locked if you can, or install a lock on the outside so you don't have any emergencies. And while this temperature cools off and your woolies are upstairs cooling as well, once they're kind of at the same temperature, you can add them together. Alright, so now I'm going to add the lanolin mixture into the tub. And I'm going to kind of pour it, spread it as well as I can, making sure they're the same temperature, as close to the same temperature as possible. Now, once it's all poured in, I'm going to go in and squeeze the wool and try to spread it out. I want to get as much of the surface area covered as I can. As you'll see, there's going to be spots where there's more lanolin. I'm not really too worried about that. Then I'm going to kind of let it hang out for a while. I want to make sure that the water level is high enough that most of the wool is covered. And so now it's time to drain your tub and take your wool out and gently squeeze it and bring it to your washing machine. I'm kind of gathering it up, squeezing it gently, and I'm putting it into one of my kids' sand pails. And then I'm going to bring it and spin the water out in my washing machine. If you don't have a washing machine that you can only spin things out on, or you would prefer not to use it, you're just going to need to squeeze out your wool way more. You can roll it between towels if you want to, but it's going to take some of the lanolin that you've worked so hard to get into the wool off. So that's why I prefer to use my washing machine. So I'm just tossing the wool into the machine, and I'm going to carefully spread it around and then set my machine to spin and spin all the moisture out. And then I'm going to take it outside or to wherever my clothesline is. I'm going to give it a gentle shake and hang it to dry. You can hang it flat if you want to, or however you're able to kind of hang it. Doesn't really matter.